the power. But every night I make a new best friend. And the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome this evening to yet again another episode of Between Two Beards. Tonight, a very special episode, Pluggo.
I'm in a blazer, baby.
He's in a blazer. Look at him, looking fresh, looking fine, excellent. I am excited about this episode tonight, my friend. Tonight's a big one. Tonight's a big one. We have, yes, Ed already in the chat, our buddy Ed. We're going to debate about that, but tonight is Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart on Between Two Beards Face-Off Edition. We have two very special guests, part of our Love Wrestling community.
Once and for all, JPJ.
We are.
Canada Day, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, pick a side. We got two guys. Why don't you go and introduce the two guys that are going to fight on behalf of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels? And we are going to moderate this baby as best we can. It's going to get serious. There's going to be some fire.
Yo, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good one tonight. All right. Our two special guests this evening. We have one defending. It is Canada Day, so I will introduce him first. He is a Canadian defending Bret the Hitman Hart.
Gentlemen.
We have the one and only Spencer Love. How are we doing, Spencer?
What's going on, eh? It's a good day to win a debate, and especially one in which I am defending the honor, the legacy, nay, the all-time great that is Bret the Hitman Hart. Happy to be here. Happy to guest on a show. It's nice to be able to sit here and enjoy a beverage and let you guys handle all of this sort of stuff. Thanks, Joe, for producing. No thanks to you for the boo, Ed, but thanks for tuning in, friend. It's good to see you.
It is always good to see you, my friend. And on the other side,
it's a lot of Shawn Michaels love on the Twitter sphere today.
That is true. That is true, but we will get into it. On the other side, defending the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, we have the one, the only, Josh Robinson. Josh, how are we this evening over here, this morning over there? My friend, how we doing?
Main Event Robinson is here to, of course, do the show as he normally does. Happy Canada Day, Spencer. I do love a good Canadian, but as November 8th, 1997 went, we know how this one's going to end.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
boy.
So,
right out the
chute. Actually, you know what's very nice? I get to debut this early. So, Josh, what I have here is Josh's counter-arguments bingo. So the fact that we've already got a screw job reference.
Oh, he's marking it off.
If you're playing along at home. So we did.
Got his face checked.
I'm going to
We're
be
on our way to Shawn Michaels bingo, friends.
Is there a free space in the center, or did you fill that in?
Of course there's a free space. It's bingo. I'm not going to fill that in. I'm going to fill that in as the winning space, though.
Yes, of course.
So behind the curtain a little bit before we get into this thing is these two came on a show a couple weeks back and just went at each other in the comments, and we said, nope, we're settling this once and for all.
Hello, Ben.
July 1st. Hello, Ben. July 1st,
for the raid,
2021, we're going to settle it. We even did some preliminary polls. An early favor is Spencer Love. So, Josh, you got a bit of an uphill battle. Everybody thinks Spencer's going to win. It's close, though. It's 55-45. We also
don't call it a comeback for nothing. I'm the ultimate underdog. I'm Daniel Bryan in this situation, and everybody loved him at WrestleMania 30.
Your first line is you walk in here, you say, "I'm main event Josh Robinson," and now you try and play the underdog card.
Oh no!
Pick a lane, Shawn Michaels.
Hey! Now, Mr. Canada, right now, just calm it down. Main event Uso is a thing, and he's an underdog. That guy never wins, so when he does finally win, it'll be freaking sweet like today. Trust me.
My man.
This is we're in for it, ladies and gentlemen.
I will just before we even start. I'll be honest here. I did start this on Twitter, but I'm also going to finish it. So it's fine.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody's
That's
turning
okay.
heel metal, Mike. I think Josh is the heel in this. No, maybe Spencer's cockiness.
I think I'm
I
the
honestly
heel.
think.
Yeah, Josh is like, no, I'll play the heel. I'll be the heel.
If we were doing
Please.
this on any day but Canada Day, I feel like it'd be pretty easy to like.
It's true.
Make an argument for either side.
You're lucky it isn't
the fact
yesterday.
that it's Canada
No.
Day. Yeah.
All
I'm very
right,
lucky it
boys.
isn't yesterday.
We're gonna have JPJ explain the structure of said debate tonight, and we're gonna kick this thing off because I don't think we can keep you two apart much longer.
No, we gotta just
we
get into
another
this
Shawn
tonight.
Michaels is the GOAT by Ronnie Culp at the bottom.
Yes, and continue throughout the debate tonight. Please
Let us
comment,
know.
say who you think is winning at the end of the show. Tell us who you think won the debate in the chat. Let us know throughout this whole debate. But here are the rules.
And hopefully
We will open.
Keep up with all the votes.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to flip a coin, and then the person who wins will be able to choose whether they want to go first or second, and then we will have opening statements. You don't have to use all the 5 minutes, but you have up to 5 minutes for your opening statements. We then scoured social media and got some great questions from fellow content creators, fans of Love Wrestling, followers of Love Wrestling. We got some good questions. We got 5 questions, and how we'll go is we'll go every other. So Spencer will start one, Josh will start the other. You'll have 2 minutes. You'll have 2 minutes. Oh, God. Cool Runnings in the chat. Cool Runnings in the chat.
I like Tim. Nice to see you guys.
You will have
I
2
still
minutes.
don't have a lot of time for Cool Runnings.
You will have 2 minutes to answer the question, and the fellow competitor will have a minute rebuttal afterwards. After the question round, there will be closing statements, and then we will leave it up to the people to vote to see who wins the debate this evening.
It's a standard United States quarter. Sorry, I didn't have any Canadian money or Australian money laying around. It's what I got. So who's going to call it?
It is Canada Day.
So are we?
So I will say that Spencer should call it, just because it is Canada Day.
All right, ready?
Tails.
It is tails. So I'll
go second.
Ooh, bold.
All right. Wow. Immediate strategy.
You know why he's going second, right? Because he has to one up. Because he goes first.
Because I already won something on this show.
Oh, see, he's already saying that he's going to lose. It's over.
No, I'm saying I've already.
All right, shut it down. Everybody go home.
Show's over, guys. 10-minute show. Shortest episode.
There's a lot of love in the comments. I will say, like, if we were ending this with like a fan vote at the 8-minute and 30-second mark, I probably would be losing as far as the comments right now. I'll take it on the chin when I need to. I'm getting my ass whipped on Facebook right now.
All right.
The floor is yours, Mr. Robinson, and he is debating on the part of Shawn Michaels.
Yes, the clock is now starting. It is your opening statement, sir. You have 5 minutes if you need it.
All right, so there's always this kind of debate that goes on for a long time. Rock Austin, Trish Lita, Shawn Bret, whatever you want to say. There's always this one person on one side, one person on the other. There's always going to be an argument. And you could argue for Bret, you could argue for Shawn. And when I say Shawn Michaels is the best of all time or the greatest of all time or who is just better, it's Shawn over Bret, it's because of the whole idea of what professional wrestling is. Professional wrestling is not just what happens inside that 20-by-20 ring. It just isn't. That's not what wrestling is. Wrestling is more than just wrestling. If we're just discussing wrestling here, just going on in the ring, there might be a little bit less of an argument to say of just pure wrestling technical skills within the ring. But when we're talking about professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, Shawn Michaels is just all round better than Bret Hart. Shawn Michaels has something that Bret Hart just can't ooze, and that's charisma. Bret just doesn't have that. In spades, Shawn has that. Just over the moon has that. Shawn Michaels is more entertaining. He's better at speaking because, let's be honest, Bret Hart is like sleeping when he speaks. It's just boring. Just pure boring. Shawn Michaels actually has personality. He actually has character. Bret Hart's character is, I'm Canadian. Cheer me. Good for you. There's a lot of people that are like that. Shawn Michaels has different kind of appeals to him. And let's just be honest here. Biasly, I don't care if I say this, Sex appeal goes to Shawn Michaels too. You can put that man on the cover of a magazine, and he did many different ones, and you nearly seen his ding dong. And as a gay man, I've got to just go, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sex appeal goes to Shawn Michaels. Better theme music, better gear. I mean, you can only do pink and black so many times, and before it becomes just, okay, cool, you're a heart. There's a lot of them too. Shawn Michaels just has so much more in spades than Bret Hart does. There's always this counter argument of like, Bret has good matches with everybody. So does Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had a career, even post coming back from his back injury. I don't really remember too many matches of Shawn's between the years of 2002 to 2010 when he officially retired that were bad. Shawn Michaels could get in the ring with anybody and make anybody look fantastic. In 2007, Shawn Michaels had a match with the Great Khali that was passable. And it's the Great Khali. I mean, come on now. It's the Great Khali. Shawn Michaels can get in there and make anybody look like $1 million. Shawn Michaels has selling down better than Bret Hart, in my opinion. Bret Hart might have technical skills more so than Shawn Michaels. I'll 100% admit that. But Shawn Michaels is flashier. He's a better speaker. He has more charisma, more sex appeal, more marketable value than Bret Hart. And on top of everything else, yes, Shawn Michaels had a lot of issues going on, but he has publicly announced that he had those issues. He knew that he was a dick. Bret Hart is a whiny complainer that just blames everyone else for his mistakes. Bret Hart does not take any accountability for the stuff that went wrong in his career. It's always someone else's fault. Shawn Michaels is the first to tell you, I was an absolute a-hole. It was my fault. So I just don't understand how Bret Hart can't get in that mentality. Everything else is wrong except Bret Hart in Bret Hart's mind. Shawn Michaels is just flat out better than Bret Hart. I'll end it there.
Okay.
Woo! That's coming out.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
My man Josh coming out.
Coming in hot. Coming in hot. All right.
Spenny.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Woo. The floor
Spencer,
is now yours.
Yeah, the clock will start now. You have up to 5 minutes, my friend.
I would first like to thank Josh for opening his statements with explaining the rules of a debate. It filled a lot of time with a lot of good words, but you got to have some substance behind the sizzle. Professional wrestling is a sport based on tradition, based on legacy, based on honor, based on grit, determination. Pro wrestling at its core is based on heart. Quite literally, friends. Not only is he part of one of, if not the most legendary professional wrestling families of all time, but as part of that family, he continued to build on the next generation. I'm not wearing a Tyson Kidd shirt for no reason. That is an individual who has taken on the legacy of Bret Hart and continued to build the sport of professional wrestling in a much more substantial way than just presenting a ladder every so often to set up a takeover match. Good for Shawn Michaels and his work as an agent. Bret Michaels, handsome individual behind Poison. Shawn Michaels has taken on a backstage role with WWE, but he has not taken on, for me, that tangible pass on the next generation that Bret does. As an Albertan, we get to see that every day working with individuals like Mo Jabari. Getting back to what he actually did inside the ring, nonetheless, the accomplishments he's still passing forward to this day, 32 championships across 5 decades in professional wrestling, definitely more than Shawn Michaels. When you look at Shawn Michaels being the 4th ever Triple Crown winner, it's pretty easy to look at that and say it's great when Bret wasn't the 2nd. We want to talk about the lack of a promo ability. Who are you to doubt Bret Hart because he didn't doubt El Dandy? This is bullshit. There are so many great promos in the Bret Hart repertoire that really, when you say are a channel changer, just really is an odd statement to me when he brought believability to professional wrestling in a way that Shawn Michaels, to me, didn't. You got the flash with Shawn. Nobody's going to doubt that Shawn Michaels was an outstanding professional wrestler, an outstanding sports entertainer, but Bret had the intangibles. He had the argument that he had a great match with anybody. If you're going to bring it up with Shawn Michaels, you can't ignore it with Bret Hart. And how many of those individuals, like a Roddy Piper, like your British Bulldogs, like a Shawn Michaels, had their best matches of their careers with Bret? All of them. Any one of them. If we're going to talk about a great match from the Great Khali, I'll see you that with a Tom McGee. Anything that we bring up on the Shawn Michaels ends of things, you can bring up in a better way for Bret Hart, in my humble opinion. The excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, continues to be Bret the Hitman Hart.
All right. Very good. Those were the opening statements from both Josh and Spencer. Yeah.
I am not wearing a steel plate because let me tell you, like, it's too hot in Edmonton to do anything.
This is a debate for the people. So after the opening statements, let us know in the comments, who do you think stole the opening statement portion of the debate? That was some fire. That was some fire.
You know, and we can
take the blazer off. It's so hot.
I know, right? That was very, very good. All right. So now what we did was we got some fan questions. We got some questions from friends of Spencer and friends of the show and friends of Love Wrestling. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask those questions, and each of you will have time to alliterate on the answers of those questions. So the first question that we got.
Feel free to pop into the comments if you got some questions. Pop them on the screen.
If you have other questions.
We'll take some fan questions today as well. Absolutely.
All right. The first question comes from Mr. Warren Hayes. His question, it is the lightest of the questions, which is why we're going to lead off with it. His questions is simply, who had the better hair and why is it Bret? Josh, I will let you go first.
It's Canada Day. Spencer, he went first last time. It's his turn to go first.
All right.
I'll take it.
Spencer, you can go first.
Bret had substance in a way that Shawn had floof. Bret, you could do so much, whether it's wet, whether it's dry, you could flip it, you could throw it around, you can do anything with Bret Hart's hair. If you want to talk about sex appeal, and I'm sorry, because I do have to do right by Maven and mention how sexually appealing he is as well, Ben. But if we want to talk about sex appeal, Bret Hart had sex appeal, and it quite literally started at the top.
Cool. All right, nice and easy. Josh, you have a rebuttal.
No, we didn't mention it wasn't actually specified that it was hair on his head. Shawn Michaels had hair everywhere. Bret Hart did not have hair on his chest. He didn't have hair on his stomach. Shawn Michaels automatically wins that argument because purely he has it all over his body.
So a follow-up question then, if I may.
You're moderating. You're more than entitled.
So are we saying, Josh, that Shawn Michaels is more of a man than, say, Bret Hart due to his lack?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he's more less of a man. I'm just saying he certainly shows the qualities maybe that you are saying that, but I wouldn't say that. No.
I see. I just hear Josh walking back a lot of points.
All right. Well,
you guys can go back and forth if you want. There is time for banter.
Blazer for a reason. I have to do my journalistic duty and ask a follow-up, and I just figured that was a good one. So keep going. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy.
I'm satisfied with my defense of the masculine hair on top of the head, Bret the Hitman Hart.
All right.
I'm satisfied with the masculine hair that's going on all over here.
I am too. Okay, so Pluggo.
So this is
the next question.
This is a combination question from a few people because it's the hottest topic between Bret and Shawn. From Sean Ross Sapp and Steven Jensen of Fightful.com and Ella J of a Wrestling Girl podcast that was on with you, Josh, not yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, that day. Yeah.
They want to know who had the better finisher and which one would you deem to be more iconic overall, the super kick or the sharpshooter?
Josh,
I'll give you the option. Yeah,
I'll go first. I'll go first. I will say the Sweet Chin Music only for one reason. They're both probably, if I'm being honest, I'm not going to be sassy, Josh here. They're both pretty on par being pretty iconic. You know what's coming. Crowd goes nuts. But I will only say it like this. Is the Sweet Chin Music, the super kick, become more adapted to everybody else? Yes, I know it's been run to the ground a lot, but it's more iconic in terms of wrestling because it's the go-to kind of thing that everybody does. Everyone knows a super kick. Everyone knows that. And obviously it didn't originate from Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels certainly put it on a mainstream scale in terms of this generation of wrestling. It all kind of comes back to Shawn. So I will say the Sweet Chin Music on this in this instance.
God.
It's off the rails, baby.
You want to talk about heat?
Big Ben has been in that chat already bringing up heat. Well done. That was very well done. I have to say the sharpshooter, and there are multiple reasons, and I think for me that's the biggest reason it is more iconic. You know, I understand that the super kick or the sweet chin music or whatever the countless amounts of professional wrestlers using it nowadays are calling it is an iconic professional wrestling move, but let's not forget, and we can obviously argue about the quality, but The Rock used the sharpshooter. There are still professional wrestlers that are using the sharpshooter in an iconic way. And like you said, it's not something that originated with Bret, but it's certainly something that took hold with the Hart family and was passed through. No one will see a sharpshooter and not equate it with it. The very worst, for this argument's sake, they won't equate it with anybody but the Hart family. Whereas you see a super kick, now it could be the Young Bucks. It could be Dolph Ziggler. It could be Shawn Michaels. The super kick is an iconic move for sure. Sweet chin music is one of hundreds of iconic super kicks. There's one sharpshooter, and it belongs to the Hart family.
All right.
But all I'm going to say is nobody confuses a sharpshooter. You know, everybody confuses a sharpshooter with maybe a Texas Cloverleaf, Boston Crab. Nobody confuses the super kick or the sweet chin music. Come at this side of the room.
I don't need to. I'm not debating you. You're moderating. I need to earn good points.
Well, there was a question.
I've blasted you a lot for cool running, so I got to keep my where I can.
For argument's sake here, Spencer is not wasting his energy on anybody but me because he knows it requires a lot.
Josh, and by no means am I wasting my energy on you. I am enjoying the fine debate we get to have here on
absolutely.
Nobody said I was going to be an impartial moderator. That wasn't part of the
deal.
That's why I'm on this side.
I guess that's me. That'll be me. That'll be me for the duration of the evening. Joe, if you can go up in the chat, he asked a question where he said, who had the most important... Yes. I'm going to add this one into here right now. And Spencer, I will give you the choice of whether to go first or second because it is your turn. But who between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had the most meaningful world title run? All multiple from both gentlemen, but out of both and all their runs, who had the most meaningful world title championship run?
It's tough for me to say one specific run on Bret's end. Because I think that Bret Hart, of anybody, and people from Vince McMahon down have said this. This isn't an original Spencer Love argument. This is the guy who founded the fucking WWE saying this. Is that nobody represented a champion better than Bret the Hitman Hart, whether it was carrying the championship at all opportunities, kissing it before he gave it over to the referee, or whatever small little details he gave anytime he was a champion, whether it was after winning it in Saskatoon from Flair or whether it was carrying it right up to the screw job. He took great honor in being a champion. I'm always prone, because I'd say the first with Shawn as well, the boyhood dream has come true. I just think with anybody, there's a real... It's my own personal emotion, I suppose, where a first championship run is usually the most meaningful. I think I would err that way with both Bret and Shawn, but I do think that Bret just did an overall better job as champion. And I say that with Shawn Michaels was a great representative of the WWE, you know, up until he handed his championships over because he got sad. So I would have to say that Bret Hart's a better champion.
All right. Josh, your rebuttal.
I echo a lot of what Spencer said because it's just personal, like, attachment to what reign is what. And both Bret and Shawn had their first reigns were obviously very meaningful to the WWE, especially in that time when WWE, predominantly when Bret and Shawn were on top, were getting their butt kicked for a long time by WCW. They were leading that new generation going into the Attitude Era. We're on the very outskirts of the Attitude Era with these two on top. I'll say Shawn, just for counter argument's sake, and purely because I think the reign from the screw job up until when Stone Cold won the title at WrestleMania 13, what was it, 14? I get my numbers mixed up.
14.
Yeah, 14. Is the most pivotal title change.
Classic between Austin and Hart.
It's like the most time-changing. It's just so instrumental in where wrestling went in that title change. And that Shawn run from the screw job to there is so meaningful to the title change because Shawn was just this, like, he was in this different zone of heat because of the screw job and everything surrounding wrestling at the time. So I'll just say that for that sake. But again, Spencer is right in saying that it's biased and it's what you attach to personally. Both very meaningful champions. I'm not going to take away from Bret in that sense, and I'm not going to take away from Shawn. Both very meaningful, maybe two of the most meaningful title holders in that time period of WWE, WWF.
All right. Pluggo is going to ask the next question, but I want to preface it because in the opening statements, Josh, you did say that Bret Hart had no charisma and wasn't good on the mic. This next question that we got is from Joe Holbert of the Distraction Podcast and Fightful.
Better promo, more charismatic.
I will.
But you go ahead. Read it, Pluggo.
Says WPI, will you take your shirt off? Oh, honey, how did that be? Honey. Oh, it's in the notes.
It's in the queue.
It's in the notes. Honey, what are you doing? Just trying to derail the show. I'm not taking my shirt off tonight. He wants to know, in their primes, who was the better promo? And he also followed up with, when they were both at their highest, who was at the highest? When they were both at their highest peak, who peaked? Who was the better peak?
Who had the highest high is how he put
highest
it.
high. Thank you. I got distracted by having to take my shirt off. So, sorry. You know how it goes.
I haven't taken it off yet, though.
Hey, I'm trying to keep us on the air spinning. I'm trying not to. I'm not ending up in your office this week. Not this week.
Josh, you have the choice. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
Okay. So,
I will stand by till the day I expire from this earth that Bret Hart was a solid to great promo. And I will also double down on that and say that while I think Shawn was more consistent in his ability to deliver great promos, Bret delivered the best promo. El Dandy is a classic promo. I am not going to sit here and doubt El Dandy. I am not going to sit here and doubt his prior to pseudo almost heel. It's the best way I can put it in the lead up to Mania 13 when he was starting to show the heelish tendencies and shoving Vince McMahon down and screaming, "This is bullshit." If we want to talk about Bret Hart being milquetoast as far as his promos go, I just think that's fundamentally wrong. Shawn Michaels, the only thing that he did in his promos for the most part was either let Hunter do him better, which is okay, or made a dick joke every so often. So I am happy right now to double down, triple down, whatever down on Bret Hart being a better promo than Shawn Michaels.
Josh has been losing his mind for the last 25 seconds.
I am not going to say anything other than this. Shawn Michaels had a promo in your lovely country of Canada in 2005 where Bret Hart's music played. The place went berserk, and Shawn Michaels tore that crowd a new one. When you say he makes
what you're telling me, John?
My turn to talk. My turn to talk. My turn to talk. Screen is on me. Screen is on me. Screen is on me.
All right, okay. Josh's time, but Spencer, we will give you time to rebut.
I am saying that you said that Shawn, the Triple H did better. They're talking like this for 20. No, not even close. Bret Hart is a better promo than Triple H. I will say that. Shawn Michaels actually had some pizzazz. Bret Hart, you talked about the promo, the promo leading into WrestleMania 13 and all of his. Bret Hart had one zone with a promo. One zone. He didn't have any layers to the way he talked. And you even said it. You said that Shawn Michaels consistently cut better promos than Bret Hart. You said that, Spencer. Roll the tape back if you have to. Those words literally came out of your mouth. And then you said, but
I remember they came out of my mouth.
And then you said, but he is a better pro. How does that? You're contradicting yourself in what you're saying. Stay true to what you if you're going to be wrong.
If the question was if the question was, and if I remember correctly, if we're rolling tape back, plug out, the question was who had the higher heights. And I am happy to put over Shawn Michaels' consistency in delivering promos. I am happy to say that. But again, I referenced two promos there pretty directly that I feel are better than anything Shawn did. If you're telling me that Shawn Michaels is cutting this great promo in Canada, the best part of it was Bret Hart's music hitting.
But that was a part of the promo. That was a part of the segment. That was a part
of
the
best
shit.
part was when Shawn wasn't talking.
But it was the Shawn's reactions and Shawn's like that over the top kind of like heel Shawn Michaels being just an ass to that Canadian crowd. That Canadian crowd was eating that up because they love Bret. And Shawn played off that. It's called playing to the strengths of what the audience is looking for. The audience was hoping for Bret Hart. They didn't get it, so Shawn shat all over them.
Okay. I stand by every point I made.
Oh, me too. I stand by it too. I'm glad you are standing by it.
All right. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I like that back and forth there.
So
I'm hot. I'm heated.
So I
like
freaking
it.
winter.
I like it.
I think we have one or two more questions from the write-in portion of the segment.
Canada promo.
But what I'd like to challenge is our listeners send in your questions, and we'll have producer Joe pick a couple to end out the question portion of this debate tonight. While we talk about the next one, Joe, what do we got? JPJ.
Oh yeah. So this one was a good one. I believe he is in the chat, and I figured this one would probably get you guys talking for a while, back and forth with each other. It is from our friend Tim Knopp in the chat.
Hello, Tim.
And he simply asked, who needed who more?
And Jeremy Rowe was a combo.
Yes, and Jeremy Rowe was a combo. Yes, so Tim Knopp and Jeremy Rowe, who are both here tonight. They're both in the chat. They've been great in the chat. Who needed who more? Did Bret need Shawn Michaels?
Does Shawn get anywhere without the screw job?
Well, we're gonna do is we're gonna leave both. Joe, producer Mighty Joe. We're gonna leave both Spencer and Josh on the screen together for this one, and we're gonna let them go. We're gonna let. It is Spencer's turn to choose whether he wants to go first or second.
And don't forget to get your questions in.
I'm happy to go first on this.
All right.
one.
So Spencer will lead, but the question is, who needed who more? Did Bret need Shawn more, or did Shawn need Bret more? Spencer, you have the floor.
Whether you're looking at singles or whether you're looking at tag team / faction / whatever you want to put it, indisputably Shawn Michaels needed Bret Hart more. When you're looking at the great D-Generation X feud, bracket 1, it was the Hart Foundation. It was 100% the Hart Foundation. They made their bones at the Hart Foundation's expense. And Bret, to his credit, when he did have the opportunity, save for the one time that I think people do tend to forget, Bret did put Shawn over. Bret went out of his way at WrestleMania 12 in that Iron Man match to make sure not only did Shawn look great in what I do think is Shawn Michaels' best match in his career, but he put him over at the end of the day. Now, that says nothing of the Rockers never beating the Hart Foundation. Absolutely nothing about that. And again, like when we say with D-Generation X, yeah, they were meant to get over at the expense of the Hart Foundation. But they certainly did, and the Hart Foundation were willing participants in it, to their credit. That was also what started all this stuff. And let's get real here on Shawn Michaels being the conduit towards the heat for the screw job. It's him. He's the guy who got it all. He's the guy who went out of his way to call sunny days and all of this sort of stuff. Bret had previously said and previously put Shawn Michaels over. And if Shawn reputably has been said by more than just Bret that he wouldn't put Bret over, how can you possibly say that Bret needed Shawn at that point? When Shawn's unwilling to do business and, as Bret said, make Bret's family money, at what point is it Bret's obligation then to do right by Shawn Michaels? I just think that any of the high points or any of the most controversial points or any points for the most part when it comes to Shawn, outside of SummerSlam 2002 and his feud with Jericho, I am always going to air to any of the work he did with the Hart Foundation and with Bret Hart specifically as fundamental to Shawn Michaels' success. And Bret was successful before Shawn was in the WWF.
Okay, so a lot of your points I'll agree with. A lot of them I'll agree with. Some of Shawn's best stuff was with Bret, but that being said, pretty much all of Bret's stuff at his best was with Shawn. I think there's probably a better argument to say that they were probably the best for each other, and one needed. There's no probably arguing the fact that Bret's best rival is Shawn, and Shawn's best rival is Bret. But when you just kind of say that,
but I
Shawn
think that's dispute. See, on Shawn's end, I can think of the Clique as maybe contenders, and even then I wouldn't. Bret indisputably had fantastic feuds with Owen Hart and the British Bulldog and Roddy Piper and the British Bulldogs heading into WrestleMania 2.
Okay, so Shawn didn't have great matches with The Undertaker. He didn't have great matches with Mankind.
Matches, 100%.
Great feuds with The Undertaker. Great feuds with Mankind. If you look at 1996 leading into Mind Games, are you gonna just discredit all of the stuff that Shawn's done outside of Bret? I think it would be silly. Okay, I'll say this. Maybe Bret got Shawn where he needed to go and gave him a little bit of a ball, but Shawn ran with it. And Shawn took it to heights that maybe Bret never got to.
And then Shawn took and kept the ball. And that's the issue, I think, on a lot of the Bret-Shawn debates.
We're not debating. This is my argument on this. We are not debating who did better for a company. We're debating who's better. That doesn't mean who's less selfish. Shawn was way more selfish than Bret, 100%. But you got to think about yourself first in this business before anything else.
Thing is, and the counter argument to that is that Bret consistently worried about everybody but himself until the screw job. So if your argument is you need to worry about what's best for yourself, then why would you ever make the argument that Bret should have dropped the title in Montreal?
Because are we going to really go into the screw job now?
Are we having a Michaels and Bret debate without the screw job?
That is okay. Yeah, we have time. We can go.
All right. Shawn Michaels, a pure art. He was an ass. He was a dick. He was everything that everybody ever said about him. He's notably said many things about this time of being like, I had problems. I was a dick. I was a dick to Bret Hart. I was a dick to this person. I was a dick to everybody. Shawn Michaels has said that. Okay, Shawn Michaels has said that. Now, when we go into a time when WCW was offering way more money than what Vince could offer, or whatever the story was, we don't know the ins and outs of the actual contract details. We never will know the exact story. There's too many sides. But we're in a time of the Monday Night Wars. We're in a time of WCW. At that stage, we're still kicking WWE's ass, were they not, in ratings and business? WCW was doing better than the WWF. When you're presented with this opportunity that there is an instance where Bret Hart might take the championship, I'm not saying that he was going to, but there was at least reason on a business end that you have to go, we have to keep us here. Shawn Michaels went and said,
it was at least a consistent enough issue with Vince McMahon that he got into this position. He did the same with Medusa 5 years, 6 years prior, or whatever it may have been by that point. Like, it's frustrating to me again that if Shawn Michaels needs to do right by himself, Bret tries to do right by himself after consistently doing right by Shawn Michaels. He was told to, is the common argument that I see from Ed as well in the chat there too. Well, of course he was told to, but Shawn Michaels was also told to do a lot of different things. That he, again, if Josh's point, and I agree, you have to take care of number one at points. But if the argument is, well, you need to do right on both ends of that, there's a very, very skewed level of that for Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. I really think that that's the case.
Okay. I understand that. And I get that. There is a part of me that goes, Bret was just looking out for Bret. You have to respect that with Bret Hart going, no, I'm not going to do this here. And I'm not going to do this because Shawn Michaels was an absolute D-bag to me and say, I wouldn't do the same for you. I don't want to, there was a big part of him that didn't want to drop it to Shawn. There was a big part of him, I think, that didn't want to drop it maybe in Canada, whatever the story may be. But where did that end up with Bret Hart? He went to WCW and had a very mediocre time in WCW.
After Vince encouraged him to sign with WCW. It's not like Vince said, well, we really want to sign you. He encouraged him to go to WCW because, like you guys said, he can't. Vince at the time, or WWE at the time, couldn't afford to keep Bret. Full cop. Bret's looking out for number one and taking the payday. But we can't sit and say, well, Vince didn't put himself in that position because he encouraged his champion to sign with another promotion while he was still champion, while he had refused Bret dropping the title to Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret dropping the title at a house show in Detroit prior. He had refused ideas. If we're going to talk about, again, needing to play ball, there needs to be playing ball. A week prior to the screw job, Shawn Triple H are on a call with Vince. Like, this is a planned, coordinated event. And again, in one of Shawn Michaels' biggest moments, it comes at the expense of Bret Hart. The one time that Bret decided to do business for Bret.
Yeah. Okay. And again, I'm not disputing any of the things that you're saying in that respect, because I do believe that Bret Hart was thinking for himself. He obviously was, and it's not a knock at all. Shawn did it all this time, and it got Shawn to pretty big heights. What I'm saying is that everything surrounding what was going on in the time of what, and again, you said about like disputing ideas and being like, I'll do it here, and whatever that may entail. And Vince was like, no, or whatever the circumstances were. What happened is what happened. And in the end of everything, the person that suffered most out of all of it was Bret. And yes, okay, there was so many things on top of Bret and encourage him to go sign with WCW and take the payday, do you. But facts are facts. After this all happened, Bret had a very mediocre time from the screw job. Shawn didn't. Shawn had a very great 5-6 months after that, then obviously took time off. He was still around in WWE as the commissioner or whatever, and then come back and had a very long run before he officially retired. And Shawn had his best work in that time.
And Bret had a great previous 15 years. I think that the longevity is a toss up on either of them, right? Like, both of them won titles across 5 decades. That's absolutely nuts. But like, and again, it is looking at a lot of stuff on the surface end, because you're right, there was a lot of stuff, and Bret said quite literally he said they're stupid for the way they treated him. But the guy is a 2-time he's a Triple Crown winner in WCW and WWF. Like, at the end of the day, Bret wasn't at the same level that he was in WWF, but the guy was still a guy that WCW, in shitty booking with a lot of stuff, still felt was a big enough draw to put a championship on, to put in their biggest storylines with guys like Hulk Hogan, to be a part of the NWO when they were trying to reboot it after the crap of trying to split them. Like, let's just get real on that end of things. So I think Bret's run definitely was worse in WCW than it was in WWE. No one's going to debate that. But when you at least look at the surface level stuff with it and what WCW is attempting to do, despite their own self-hindrances or self-inflicted wounds, I suppose, there was still the effort to try and do that.
I won't argue anymore on that point, because it's going to go back and forth all the time, and someone's always going to have an argument for each end. So I'll happily. He made good points though, Spencer. You know, whatever I say, I still love you, and you're my boss.
That's there is no doubt that there is no love lost here. Don't get me wrong there.
There goes all our viewers. I was telling you.
Everyone's like, I thought they really hated each other.
I mean to say, Spencer is a stupid bitch. There we go.
Yeah, you suck, Josh. I hate you.
Yeah, I do suck.
Viewers just pop through the roof.
Send that clip out on Twitter and we'll get a lot more.
All right. Well, that was good. That was a good question. We have one last question. It's actually from Ed, from our very own Ed. He said it in the chat. And he said, and I know we were just talking about who needed who more and stuff like that. And we got into a lot of stuff. But he said, when looking back on it, whose legacy is greater on the business of professional wrestling?
I know a thing or two about legacies right now.
I think, hey, plug it.
Monday, I love wrestling.
Well, actually, you know what? Yeah. You take her on, Josh, if you would like
Josh,
to.
You can lead this one. Who on the business has a greater legacy, Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart?
Shawn Michaels. End of story.
Right.
I'm not even going to say any points. It's pretty damn obvious at this point. It's Shawn Michaels.
All right. Well, there you go.
Hey, I mean,
about that.
Yeah.
All right. I disagree will be my opening statement as part of this.
Shocker.
And to be quite honest with you, over about the last 2-3 years, I think it definitely has become a longer conversation, because part of my opening statement in this debate was that Bret Hart, one of the biggest things for me as far as establishing him as not just one of the greatest, but the greatest of all time, is the fact that he does continue to influence the latest generation of professional wrestlers. What he's doing for pro wrestling in Alberta is absolutely phenomenal, even now. People going back and watching that, and I know it's the same argument you can make for Shawn Michaels, but like routinely you hear Bret Hart as one of the individuals, the most professional wrestling technikers, I guess. I hate that phrase, but like your technical professional wrestling enthusiasts will always go to as the guy. I really think when you look at the legacy of both Bret and Shawn, this is the one where I'm willing to sort of have the most gray area, because I really think it's apples and oranges. Because like Josh said a couple of times, they're two very different professional wrestlers. And I think right now the fact that they're both trying to imprint their knowledge and what they've done and how to move forward to the next generation. It's really an apples and oranges debate on this one, but I'm going to stand by Bret.
Echoed.
Right. Yep.
I'm just going to keep this, man.
Ooh, good Lord.
Hot takes.
Yeah, this has been good. All right.
I hope nothing's breaking. There we go.
No, nothing.
How is the bingo card going? Are you close?
I have surprisingly 5 spaces left.
Ooh. There you go. So we're getting there. Where is
Not
everybody?
so cliche now, am I?
No, I'm almost at a bingo though. I'm almost at a bingo, so we're okay.
We do have a question on the bottom of the screen. It says, how do you feel, and maybe we can direct this to Spencer, how do you feel about Bret seemingly burying everyone while Shawn is building up the next crop of stars in NXT? I assume that's
because I think despite a lot of apologies, Shawn Michaels has a lot of penance to pay for how much non-building up the next generation or building everybody up he did while he was actively working in professional wrestling. Like it's and I say this as a guy that you know, I've got no insider knowledge, but you can read a billion articles out there about Shawn Michaels did this, Shawn Michaels did that, Shawn Michaels proverbially gave the push. You never heard that about Bret. You really never heard that. Like, again, I made the point earlier that he was a guy who built his reputation on making everybody else look great. And by default, everybody came to know how great he was. Shawn Michaels routinely did look out for number one. And I think that there does need to be that balance in professional wrestling of looking out for number one versus not. Bret going out of his way to bury everybody right now. Again, I think it's one of those things where you can find a lot of articles pretty easily, but I also don't think you'll find a lot of really recent ones outside of, quite honestly, WCW. The stuff that came up with Flair earlier this year was quotes from Bret back 10 years ago. So again, if we're going to give Shawn Michaels all this credence, and rightfully so, the guy cleaned up his life, he found God, he did right by himself. But if we're going to give him that credence, then find me a Bret Hart article from 2021 of Bret Hart shoots hard on XYZ, because it hasn't happened in the last little bit. And I've got full faith, not knowing anything about him as a person outside of what you see on TV, that it will continue to not happen, because he said he doesn't want to. Guy tweets out 2 weeks ago that he's tired of his old quotes being taken out of context. So I agree. There's a lot of ammo in the cannon for that as far as Bret Hart following his retirement. But I also think there's a lot of ammo in the cannon for, let's talk about Shawn Michaels going out of his way to proverbially take the shovel out.
All right.
I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times Bret Hart has blamed somebody else post-retirement for something that's gone wrong, or something that he has little to no connection with, in the terms of, say, a Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins hurts everybody, apparently, in Bret Hart's words.
So here's the question for you, though, Josh. If Bret Hart is asked, what do you think about Seth Rollins injuring Sting, which is the full context of that quote, what does he do? Do you answer it dishonestly? Because, like, to a fault, yeah, Bret Hart is an honest individual. He's gruff. He's rough around the edges. He's any words you would want to throw on that end. But I also doubt that anyone would sit there and say, well, Bret Hart's bullshitting me. And I think a lot of people could say for about 20 years, all lost his smile was in that second category.
Okay, that's fine. He's honest and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm doing the exact same thing you just did about Shawn. bringing up all the stuff that he's been asked about. Shawn said his honest truth. He did all that kind of stuff. So I think it's an argument on both of their ends, because I think Shawn's done a lot better post-retirement and Bret done a lot better in his active years. Shawn's still active in a sense in the business, so is Bret, but Shawn's still active in a sense. So I think it's probably just a balancing act then of people doing a lot more in their post-retirement and pre-retirement or active years, whatever you want to call it. So isn't it just the same thing on both ends?
No, Bret's better.
All right.
My favorite part is that I got halfway into a sentence and Spencer's like, but wait, Bret Hart said this.
Pretty easy to say things when you're correct about them. Like you take a quote out of context, it's pretty easy to make anything happen. That was one that like hit not hard, but like wrong. Bret Hart was asked directly about somebody causing an injury, and I firmly like it's no one's fault by any means. I'm not sitting and saying it's Shawn or Seth Rollins' fault by any means, excuse me, but that was directly what Bret was asked about, and he answered the question, and that becomes this whole big blow up.
Do we have any more questions lined up, JPJ?
We do not have any more questions. We had the ones that we got, and then we had 3 or 4 great ones in the chat. So
that
as far as
we're 2/3 of the way through this debate, face off, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah.
Where do you think we're at right now, fans? Is it Josh leading the way, or is it Spend Love?
Yeah.
Right,
Throw your opinions in the chat. Let us know who you think is winning this debate so far. We're about to get to the closing arguments, and then after that, we're just gonna, tone it down a bit and maybe chat about some current wrestling, what we're all digging or stuff like that before we get out of here.
I wrote in all caps, I win.
Oh, tremendous.
Every vote counts. We don't discriminate. Every vote counts. Whoa.
Hey, come on, that's not fair.
Whoa.
Oh man, the entire brand?
Wow.
Oh man, that's like 20-something votes.
Jeez.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Love Wrestling CA.
Josh won before we even started.
Oh, look at this. Jeremy
can't
saying he's
believe
more on the
Josh
fence than
voted
he's
for
ever
me.
been. All right.
So how does that work? Does the vote from Love Wrestling get split between every member of Love Wrestling, so it's really not a full vote?
No, it's a full vote. Full vote. Full vote for each person under the Love Wrestling roster. So, Josh, thank you for voting me in the debate against you.
I can't argue the fact that Spencer does have control over this. So,
this is on my show.
So if I win, it's purely because I'm better. But if I lose, I'm blaming it on purely because he's in charge and he rigged it. So I'm
blame the politics. Blame the politics.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels
absolutely.
Move.
I'm a Shawn Michaels fan. Of course, I'm going to blame the
All
politics.
I know is again, we say this weekly on Between Two Beards. If you don't see us next Thursday, it's because the boss fired us.
Yeah.
That guy.
Budget's blown. No, it's nice. I waived my normal booking fee to be here, so we're cool.
True.
Josh upcharged us.
So
we're going to take again the moral high ground. I waived my booking fee, and Josh actually upcharged. After he found out I had waived my booking fee.
I'm just a sexy boy.
We did have to pay Josh a little extra for this appearance tonight. That is true.
If Spencer could get,
I got a bingo. You said sexy boy.
Oh, we got a bingo. Spencer got a bingo.
Bingo!
That's where I learned all my moves for. Yeah, bingo. Hell yeah. At least you won something today, Spencer.
I made that joke at the start of the stream. I can't believe it took you an hour to bring it back up.
If Josh loses, it goes down as the Love Wrestling screw job.
I will. Oh, man.
All right. It is now time. This is tremendous.
But anyway, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tim said that we need to get Spencer a prop beard. We got to fit that into the budget if he's going to be on the Between Two Beards.
I'll order a prop beard for the next one. I think I will actually ask. Does a mustache count? Can I grow a suave mustache?
Yeah, we don't facial hair shit.
Yeah, we don't discriminate. We don't discriminate here. We don't discriminate here.
All right.
Alrighty.
It is now time for the closing arguments. Now, Josh went first on the opening statements. So, Spencer, you will lead the closing argument. Take all the time you need. Your closing argument on why, once and for all, Bret Hart is better than Shawn Michaels.
Here are a few fun facts. I'll start this over when I'm in the big screen.
Oh, you're in it.
Here are a few fun facts for all of you guys. Bret Hart, been on The Simpsons. Shawn Michaels, never been on The Simpsons. Shawn Michaels has never carried an AEW championship. Bret Hart has knocked out Vince McMahon. Shawn Michaels has not. Bret Hart has a hockey team named after him. Shawn Michaels has only beaten Bret Hart in the state of California officially, while Bret beat Shawn in 5 different states and Japan. Shawn is friends with Marty Jannetty. And I think if I need to sell you on anything, it's that, as far as why Bret Hart is a better human being and therefore a better professional wrestler.
Short and sweet.
I counter argument with the fact that Shawn Michaels shoved Vince McMahon's face up Big Show's ass. End of statement.
All right, there it is.
I believe it's Paul White.
Paul
White now.
No, Big Show, formerly known as Big Show in the WWE.
Okay, we're going canonically. That's cool. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going with it.
Oh man.
And while we figure out
Tom's comment that Marty Jannetty desperately needs friends to be fair. Someone has to make him stop. It's true. It's true.
I think I brought this up on a stream with this previously, but that guy literally admitted to murder within the last 6 months, and we did nothing about it.
Yeah, nobody barely even talked about it.
Not at all.
For my own, since this is our show, and I am a moderator, I guess I'll flex that muscle just so I can sleep at night. Last question on my end: did Bret Hart screw Bret Hart?
Yes. Hey, I didn't know you can't mark that off. I didn't say it. I didn't bring it up. You can't mark that off. That's illegal.
That's fair.
That's illegal.
Listen,
I'll print off a revised. I'll print off a revised.
Bret Hart
to fix
screwed
that.
Bret Hart. 100%. Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart.
I love it.
Okay.
You can cross it off now.
Spencer, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Did Bret screw Bret? No, and I think that I gave all of the rebuttals that I could possibly give on why Bret didn't earlier, to be honest with you. So I'll take the free views. We're near the end of the show. You can rewind and watch again. It bumps us up in the all-important algorithm.
There you go.
Josh is our video guy, probably appreciates me bringing that up.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude the first ever face-off here in Between Two Beards. So get your opinions in the. Yeah, go ahead.
Buy a mug at Love.
Oh yeah, of course.
LoveWrestling.shop/ca. I'm all messed up. This debate was hot. It was a lot of fire. It was a lot of information. Who won, guys? Let's get those comments in while we just cool down for a couple minutes out of your drink a tasty beverage or whatever you got to do. I don't know if Josh can cool down at all. He's always hot. You know what I'm saying? But.
I will say this. Can I just say that Spencer, I love you very much. I wouldn't want to debate with anybody else because I don't think anyone could bring it as much as you could. So I do appreciate in that respect. Spencer is a wonderful man.
That was an absolute blast. I will happily hop on again because there's nothing more fun than chatting pro wrestling and getting heated about it with lots of love behind it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Always down. That was a blast.
So while we have a few minutes here, and we'll get people in the chat telling us who they think won this debate this evening. What do you guys, with the current product, the current week of wrestling, what you've been watching, what you've been digging, what's been really catching your eye right now? And is it Hit Row like it is for me?
Hit Row.
That's the rule. Whenever you say Hit Row, you got to. Spencer yelled at me.
It's actually, we've implemented that. That's a hard rule here.
It's a hard rule. It's a hard rule.
There's a lot of rules here. Love wrestling, man.
Now that we had our first normal wrestling week calendar and what feels like forever with Dynamite actually last night and on Wednesday and stuff like that, anything this week, anything stick out to you just currently? What are you watching that you're really into. I know it's been a little bit since Josh has been on here, and Spencer, we haven't formally had you as a guest yet on this one. So
I tried to grow a beard for the last 6 weeks to try and get on the show. This is the success rate so far.
The only way you're getting on is to talk about Bret Hart. That's the only.
That's exactly it. I need a non-bearded, suitable appearance for me to hop
Can
on.
I,
I feel like I'm doing poorly by the branding.
This week, that triple threat women's number one contenders tag title match was fantastic.
Amazing.
I just want to say, like, I'm not the biggest like Zoe Stark person in the world, but she is.
Yeah,
can I swear?
She's good.
Yeah,
that.
She's fucking great.
That spinning, that like spinning knee, like her finish, incredible stuff. That was a damn good match. Yeah. Bret Hart, who also couldn't grow a beard, to be fair. Fair. That's
all right.
All
right. My beard is the worst there is, the worst there was. The worst
I don't know. We have to see. We have to start keeping tally of who people are saying won in the chat, so we can have a.
You can moderators in the. I'm not a moderator. You can start a poll, but.
Oh, you can. Damn. See.
But
now we know.
Probably doesn't know how to.
For next time.
I don't. I was really hoping that I wouldn't get called out.
Spencer, if you go in the Twitch chat and you put like the little slash, right, and then write poll, you can create a poll. But it's probably too late now. We can just go through the
it's okay.
We'll go through the chat later. We'll get everyone's votes tabulated. Well, you know what? No, you're producing the show. You guys will go through and get everything.
It's all on us, guy. Right? You guys are the guests tonight. You got
we don't go to do
come
shit.
And chat. You just
it's all on him. I'm just here. I stumbled into the wrong podcast. I thought this was the mind behind. JR.
The mind behind.
Now, if you guys don't mind me throwing a suggestion out there, or when we wrap up, because they're still chatting with them, but let's give a raid. Let's throw some love to the fine folks at Putting You Over. They're chatting with Gabriel Fuerza, who is part of Backyard Pro Wrestling, that we are proud to sponsor here on Love Wrestling. So we're going to go and show some love to the fine folks over there. But I just wanted to throw that out there before you guys started control again, because I've talked a lot.
No, it's good.
All seriousness, though, would you guys fire JR for his flub last night?
WWE Dynamite.
Yeah, WWE Dynamite. That's why I said I thought we were on the
That's the only way I'd watch AEW if it was called WWE.
That's how he ended the show. That's how he ended the show.
So much hate for that. Oh my god, everyone's gonna hate
Dynamite.
Me. WWE mug.
Well, the Young Bucks actually put it in their Twitter bio. So their Twitter bio now says like blah 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 blah. It says check us out next week on WWE Dynamite. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go through the comments. We are gonna see who won, and we are going to let everyone know who wins after this show goes off. Oh man, it is close, man. It is close. I know Joe's looking at it back there counting.
Tight one, yeah.
It is close. But while we wait,
are there any incoming mail-in votes? Do we have hanging chads? We need to
do we need a recount?
Do we need a recount?
What about if
elections are crazy over here in the States, guys? There's a lot of things.
Will everybody love it?
Oh.
Hey,
I'll shake
we're
that
gonna
ass.
get banned on Twitch. We're gonna get banned on Twitch for that. If you can't stream,
I had pants on. You can't. Well, as long as you don't show bare ass, you're good. And I had pants on.
He had pants on.
I had pants on.
This is not a pantsless podcast.
I just shook my ass for everybody. So I don't care how I get votes as long as I get them.
Stay tuned next week.
I'll give you that link to that OnlyFans if you vote for me, guys.
Oh.
Josh.
Woo!
In all seriousness,
do we have lawyers here at Love Wrestling? Because are you guys, if one of you loses, are you
actually
drag it out?
Now, prior to episode 1 of Between Two Beards, we had one on retainer. And then you got the fucking fireworks, and here we are.
Always comes back to Pluggo.
Yeah, it always does go back to you.
Honestly, JPJ and I are rooming together at SummerSlam, so I can't bug him until at least August 24th.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna land on that Monday, and I'm gonna get called into the office on Tuesday, and that's gonna be the
JPJ. End. We got to talk about the last few months, man. It's been a lot, and I've got a file.
It's like I needed you to come with me, so great time. But thanks for everything. Thanks for everything. And I'll be like, no.
I risk my life for the fans. I put the fireworks. They're close to my face, you know. Could hurt. It could burn this beautiful beard off. And I do it for you, and then you just throw me in the office. You know, it's what do you want from me, Spencer? Brought you on the show with
if you burned off your beard, we would not have Between Two Beards. We would have Beard. That would be the show name. It would be Beard with John. Beard with John.
Watching Cool Runnings next week.
This is I just went up and I ran up the chat and I got all the votes that I did see. And it is we have a super tight. It is super tight. It is a 1-vote victory. It is a 1-vote victory for Josh Robinson.
John, I was so worried then. I thought you were going to say, and I've saved this for the end.
Is that a good tease?
We can now rename Spencer Love to Spencer Cry. I've been waiting for that for so long.
Crying.
And since he wins, Josh Robinson, it is now your time to give your acceptance speech.
You know what? In my acceptance, I would like to say that I love Mr. Spencer Love, and he's a great man, but I'm just a little bit better.
Throw it to the Twitterverse. Throw it to Twitter.
Oh, we are we are. We will. There will be. I will be putting a poll up.
Producer of the show vote for him.
I don't know. I don't know. My hands are tied. My hands are tied with that one.
Based on Spencer's own admission, the 26 votes he got from Love Wrestling weren't enough to get it done. He still lost with the entire Love Wrestling brand.
Spencer, I'm joking, of course.
I demand a recount in the states of Georgia and Texas.
Let's not go there.
Taking the L on Canada Day, no less. Spencer Love.
I feel so
like many mean people in the chat. You couldn't even. It's Canada Day, people, for crying out loud.
Got the bias. The bias is real. The Twitch chat screwed Spencer.
Do you have any
I shook my ass and I got the votes.
I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. I think that's what put
my ass. Yeah.
Once he shook his ass, we had those last couple.
If I'm going to lose for any reason, Josh shaking his ass is a pretty okay one to lose.
I think we would be all okay.
I've heard that sentence many times in the last year, my friend. I can tell you that.
My favorite part of this entire show is that my mom legit watches the show, and I know I'm
my God.
Was that boy shaking his ass on TV? John,
yeah.
What was he doing? Why was he doing that? I'm like, Mom, it's show business. It's what we do.
Yikes.
What we do.
Say hi to my mom, John.
And there you go. To be fair, fabulous ass. I mean, there it is.
I agree with Ben. I got to agree with Ben here.
Oh, that is true. Maybe it is Canada Day. So
you know what? The next debate we have with Josh and I want to do on Australia Day.
Okay. Nobody celebrates it here because it's a horrible day. So.
All you do is go outside and get killed by animals.
Shaking your ass for votes is a very Shawn Michaels-esque move.
Absolutely.
So I mean, he's just playing the part.
Absolutely.
Brett would have just stood there.
Sexy Josh.
Now that the debate is over, I don't have to. Brett would have just been like, "Hey, I'm from Canada. Vote for me."
Stop that! He was not as.
By the way, I think we
rated.
I think we rated already, so I think the show's actually over.
Oh well, there you go.
What?
Did we already raid by accident?
Yeah, the raid is
already done.
It kicked me off of the Twitch live. Putting you over. We'd still be live, but I think the raid has happened already.
I didn't even hit the button. I didn't even hit anything.
We already raided.
Well, that's fine.
There it is.
We'll go with
fine.
it.
We can still wrap up. I mean,
we're going to wrap up. We're going to pretend it's real.
The VOD
yeah, we're going to pretend it's real. So,
what the fuck?
Spencer, anything to plug
for
the no people watching?
I would always want to plug our great content that we've got here on Love Wrestling. I also want to give a huge shout out because you can see my Twitter handle there. That's all you need on my end. Thank you to everybody who donated to our Trevor Project fundraiser throughout the month of June. We are very, very proud to announce, and we'll be sending stuff out in the next little bit, that we have managed to raise, and I'm sorry, it's like still a little surreal, so excuse me as I do. We were able to raise $2,272 for the Trevor Project, which
Awesome.
is
Just awesome
absolutely nuts. And that's all thanks to you guys tuning in and donating bits and directly donating to the links that we've sent out. It means a lot. I know I speak for Josh, Pluggo, JPJ, and everyone else on Love Wrestling when I say that. A huge thanks to each and every one of you. It means the world.
And John, yeah, that was when you sent out that figure earlier in the chat earlier today. I was like, man, that's just good stuff. It feels good to be a part of something like that. Yeah, it's just
geez,
so awesome.
Heat, the hair. Sorry,
I know. Yeah,
It's the blazer.
You know what? I'm taking the blazer off.
Yeah. And while
debate
Spencer
is over. That is
Yeah.
a debate.
Can I win now?
Oh,
Josh, what about you, my friend? What do you have coming
our
up?
Facebook fans are like, what the?
Oh my god. I'm in big screen for this. I mean, whatever. But what do I have coming up? Monday, Legacy of Leader. It's the 2-week start of Leader, and then Trish the following Monday on the Legacy of. I can't just to pat myself on the back, I guess, but Love Wrestling's just outreach and stuff like that. It's obviously a huge deal. But damn, Legacy of is kind of taking a mind of its own, and I didn't think it was going to be like that. And it's really cool to have all your guys' support and everyone else that just watches and promotes it and everything. It's really cool to just celebrate what I love. So yeah, that will be out Monday. And I might have something coming up soon coming to my Twitch with Mr. JPJ, but just stay posted to my Twitter for that.
Ooh.
Keep up that, yeah. Let's get. That's what they call a tease in the business. That's what they call a tease.
You're just gonna come on my show, win the debate, and steal my guy?
Hey.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm
seeing
doing.
the formation of a brand new Pluggo and Spencer tag team.
Poaching.
Was my DMs
Poaching
not
talent.
open? What up?
Look it. You don't have to worry, Pluggo. You do not have to worry about me. But
It's not.
can't help it that
Don't worry.
I'm a wanted man around these parts sometimes. You know.
I'm apparently not. No, JPJ. This debate is tearing this family apart.
No, never. There is never.
Never.
Bearded families never get torn apart. Thank you both for being here tonight. This was a lot of fun.
That was a blast.
I know you both are busy gentlemen, so I thank you for taking the time and joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun from the shoot. It was just, I knew it was going to be, and it exceeded my expectations.
That was a blast. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
John, any parting words for our two guests and the people that are still here on Facebook, YouTube, and everything but Twitch?
You can always follow me. I think I've still got the Twitch going. It's still on.
I've got it going still. Yeah, I think I don't know how I fixed it, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, word. Well, welcome back, everybody.
I don't know.
Thank you. We heard that you all already rated.
Look,
but I'm glad
let's just get this. If we're ever going to debate anything on this show, one thing that we can't debate is like when it comes to Twitch, I am an old man, and I don't know how to make it work properly most of the time. So I'm glad that whatever button I may or may not have clicked or not clicked, I'm glad we're back.
Oh, Pluggo, your goodbyes, my friend.
You can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Wrestling Plug Inc. I am Pluggo. Hi, Mom. That's all I got.
Right. Hopefully, at least I know I'm safe through the end of August. I don't know about you, Pluggo. Hopefully you are too. But we should be here next week for another episode of Between Two Beards. We should be here.
Just find talent's getting poached, budget's getting cut,
talent's getting
potential. You know what I mean. I don't know what could happen. I'm gonna be. I'll be here.
July 2nd was a dark day in Love Wrestling history.
Oh, so sad.
The budget cuts.
Sad. The budget cuts. The stealing of talent. Who knows?
Oh, this is
stabbing each other on the
Josh
back.
Robinson's Twitch channel.
What kind of racket they running over there?
Just like in WCW when Bischoff came down on the Harley and declared
Eric Bischoff,
victory.
what a silver fox.
Right, what a silver fox. This will be the day that they go, this is when Love Wrestling's the demise happened, was the debate.
No. If anything, this is the day. If anything, this is the day.
Everyone's going to be speculating as to when
what a
JPJ
debate we
is
had
officially
here.
going to sign with JPJ's new Twitch channel.
You said you couldn't run Twitch, Spencer. I'm probably 1A behind you. So
we're all here.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you do, Josh.
And I'm going to tell you.
Thank you for
right
everything
now,
you do, Joe, because it wouldn't happen without you guys.
It is true.
JPJ leaving between two beers isn't a work. You heard it here
No,
first.
it's not. No,
It isn't a work.
not happening. No. Anyway, regardless of the storylines created on this podcast tonight, I am JPJ. Again, thank you, Spencer. Thank you, Josh, for joining us. Thank you, Joe, for producing the show behind the glass over there. Pluggo, love you. Always great to see you every Thursday doing this. We will be back here, hopefully, next Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for Love Wrestling. You might see me this weekend doing a solo review of AEW and NXT because the Wool Report, due to some things out of our control, couldn't happen this morning, unfortunately. But I might do something a little on the side because those are two really damn good shows this week, and I feel like we need to talk about them a little bit. But other than that, I am Joseph_Poulin Jr. On the Twitter machine. You can find me on Love Wrestling with a bunch of other fantastically talented people doing fantastically talented things. So thank you for the support. Thank you for all the questions and just the banter in the chat. If you liked what you saw, if it was your first time, please come back next Thursday at 8:30 and watch us. We try to incorporate the chat and have as much fun as we can. So for Spencer, for Josh, and for Pluggo, I am JPJ. This is us from Between Two Beards saying peace out.